The fall of Mr. Sterling. When the underdog roars, Malik Johnson wiped the sweat from his brow as he mopped the marble floors of Sterling Enterprises' gleaming headquarters. The towering skyscraper in downtown had glass so pristine it reflected the city skyline like a mirror, but inside, Malik felt invisible, just another shadow swallowed by wealth and power. To everyone else, Malik was the janitor, a faceless, lowly worker who kept the toilets clean and the hallways shining. But inside, Malik carried something far greater than his job title, fierce intellect. A sharp mind shaped by years of self-study and a burning hope that one day his worth would be seen. Every morning, Malik arrived early. He listened behind doors, heard whispered deals and arrogant laughter echoing from Sterling's executive suites. Charles Sterling, the CEO, was a man who thrived on dominance. Malik had seen him reduce brilliant people to trembling wrecks with a single condescending word. Sterling's empire was built on fear, and Malik was one of many who bore the scars. But Malik also knew Sterling's cracks. Over the years, he had pieced together whispers of shady contracts, financial maneuvering that skirted legality, and a trail of people who had vanished from the company after asking too many questions. Malik's late mother, a proud woman who raised him alone, had taught him, "Truth is the light that breaks through the darkness, son. Never let them dim your fire." So Malik studied. Between shifts, he devoured books on law, finance, and cybersecurity. Late at night, after the lights went out, he logged into Sterling's outdated network using credentials he'd found buried in discarded documents. He was careful silent, like a ghost. Tonight was different. Malik's heart thumped as his screen flooded with confidential files, emails, contracts, ledgers, exposing Charles Sterling's deepest lies. Kickbacks disguised as bonuses. Off-the-books accounts funneling millions to shadow companies. Manipulated stock prices. Evidence that could crumble Sterling's empire and send him to prison. Yet, Malik also knew the stakes. Sterling didn't just control the company, he had powerful allies. The media, politicians, and police owed him favors. Standing up meant risking everything. The air felt heavier, the office colder. Malik glanced at the polished elevator doors as they slid open, revealing Sterling stepping out tall, sharp, and dripping with arrogance. Sterling's gaze locked on Malik. "You!" he barked, voice dripping with disdain. "Did I tell you to be here? Get out! Clean the West Wing, now!" Malik nodded, heart pounding but eyes steady. He had endured Sterling's insults for years, called trash, uneducated, nobody. But beneath that was a man who never stopped dreaming. As Sterling disappeared down the hall, Malik whispered, "Not anymore." For weeks, Malik worked in the shadows. He downloaded more files, pieced together the puzzle of Sterling's criminal enterprise, and built a case no one could deny. Every file was a thread in a web of corruption. At home, Malik's small apartment was sparsely single lamp lit a desk cluttered with papers. A flickering laptop screened the window to his revolution. The city noise seeped in, but Malik was alone with his purpose. His only friend in the building was Rosa, a sharp-tongued receptionist who noticed the change. "You're different," she said one day, eyes narrowing. "What are you up to, Malik?" He hesitated. Could he trust her? "I'm fighting," Malik said quietly. "Not just for me, for all of us," Sterling stepped on. Rosa smiled, eyes glinting with pride. "I've seen what that man does. Be careful." At the same time, Sterling's grip tightened. A new wave of layoffs swept the company. Managers who questioned him were replaced with yes men. Sterling held rallies where he preached loyalty and obedience like a preacher of fear. One afternoon, Sterling called Malik directly. "In my office, now." Malik's palms sweated. The walk to the top floor felt like crossing a battlefield. Sterling sat behind a vast mahogany desk, hands steepled, eyes cold. "You think you're smarter than me?" Sterling sneered. "Do you know what happens to those who cross me?" Malik swallowed hard. "I'm not afraid." Sterling laughed a low, dangerous sound. "You should be." But Malik met his gaze, steady and unyielding. The battle lines were drawn. The day of reckoning arrived like a storm. The boardroom was packed, Sterling flanked by loyal executives, faces smug and confident. Malik entered quietly, carrying nothing but his laptop. and a folder filled with evidence. Sterling smirked. "What's this, Johnson? Lost your mop and found your backbone?" Malik ignored the jab. He connected his laptop to the projector. The screen flickered, then exploded with files, emails, videos, and financial documents that left no room for denial. Gasps filled the room. "Here," Malik said, voice rising with conviction, "is the truth you've hidden. Kickbacks disguised as bonuses. Fake accounts funneling money to offshore companies. You've stolen from your employees, your investors, your community." Sterling's smirk faded, replaced by a snarl. "You're playing a dangerous game." Malik pressed a button. Live feeds from whistleblowers, court-ready documents, and recordings began streaming. The board's expressions shifted: shock, horror, disbelief. Sterling's eyes narrowed, but he was cornered. The power shifted. Malik stood tall, the underdog no longer invisible. Justice, it seemed, had finally found its voice. As Sterling sat back, defeated for the moment, his phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. A single message, a name, a promise. Malik's victory was far from complete. Sterling's allies were stirring in the shadows, and the war for Sterling Enterprises had only just begun. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Power built on fear and deception is fragile. Truth is the sharpest weapon of all. The underdog's roar can bring even the mightiest to their knees. Who sent the message to Sterling? What hidden forces lie waiting to reclaim control? And will Malik's courage be enough to survive the storm that's coming? Stay tuned for part 2, where the fight for justice takes a darker, deadlier turn.